inevitable, inevitable, inevitable. Let's break down the word inevitable. As an adjective, it means something that is certain to happen or must be done because of some situation or rule. Common usage shows that people often use this word when talking about events that are destined to occur, such as the outcome of a sports game or the consequences of not following a safety protocol. For example, it's inevitable that we'll run out of food if we don't order more supplies, or the team will win the championship. It's inevitable with their current momentum. What's interesting is that this word can also have a slightly negative connotation, implying something unpleasant or unavoidable. For instance, the traffic jam was inevitable on a Friday evening during rush hour. Here are 3 examples of how to use the word inevitable in different contexts. In formal situations, such as in a speech or a written article, you might say, "The rise of artificial intelligence is an inevitable consequence of technological advancements, and it's essential for policymakers to consider its implications." This sentence uses inevitable to describe a future event that is likely to happen due to the natural progression of technology. Context explanation. This sentence would be suitable in a speech or article discussing the impact of AI on society. In casual conversations with friends or colleagues, you might say, "I think it's inevitable that we'll run into each other at the party, given how many mutual friends we have." Here, inevitable is used to describe an event that is likely to happen due to a combination of factors. In this case, shared social connections. Context explanation. This sentence would be suitable in a casual conversation with someone you know well, perhaps while chatting over coffee or lunch. In business or academic writing, such as in a report or a research paper, you might say, "The company's financial struggles make it inevitable that they will have to restructure and lay off employees, at least temporarily." In this example, inevitable is used to describe an outcome that is likely to happen due to the current circumstances. Context explanation. This sentence would be suitable in a report or research paper analyzing the business strategies of a company. You know when something is going to happen and can't be stopped? That's basically what inevitable means. When we say something is inevitable, we mean that it's going to happen sooner or later. No matter what, it's like a certainty that can't be changed. For example, if someone says, "Old age will catch up with him eventually," they're saying that growing older and getting wrinkles is just part of life and can't be avoided. So, the main characteristic of inevitable things is that they're going to happen, no matter what. Similar concepts or synonyms might include words like certain, sure, or unstoppable. When we say something is inevitable, it usually means that people will take action or prepare for it because it's just not possible to stop. Infrastructure. 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 So, let's talk about the word infrastructure. It's a noun, which means it refers to a person, place, thing, or idea, but in this case, it's more of an abstract concept. Commonly used in English, infrastructure typically refers to the underlying systems and structures that support the functioning of society, such as roads, bridges, public buildings, utilities like water and electricity, and even digital networks and computers. You'll often hear it used in discussions about transportation, construction, and technology. One special note is that while it can be a bit formal or technical sounding at times, infrastructure has become more mainstream and accessible in everyday conversation, especially among business people. policymakers, and anyone who talks about modernization or development projects. In a meeting with government officials to discuss urban planning, I mentioned that investing in modern infrastructure would greatly benefit the local community by providing them with efficient public transportation and reliable utilities. My colleague later mentioned to me at lunch that she was frustrated with her neighborhood's lack of decent infrastructure, citing potholed roads and intermittent internet connectivity as major annoyances. When presenting a proposal for a new company expansion, our CEO emphasized the importance of investing in robust digital infrastructure to support seamless communication and data management across all branches. So you want to know what this important concept is all about? Well, let me break it down for you in simple terms. The idea I'm referring to refers to the underlying systems, networks, and facilities that support and enable a society or organization to function properly. It's like the foundation of a building, just as a house needs a strong base to stand on. A community or business needs these essential elements to operate smoothly. Think of it like roads, bridges, public transportation, water pipes, electricity grids, internet connections, all those things that we take for granted but are crucial for daily life. These systems and networks allow people and goods to move around efficiently, enable communication and trade, and provide basic necessities like water, food, and shelter. It's a broad concept that encompasses many different areas, but essentially it's about the setup that makes everything else work. Inspect. 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 So, let's talk about the verb inspect. The part of speech is pretty straightforward. It's a verb. In common usage, to inspect something means to carefully look at and examine it in order to check its quality, condition, or accuracy. You can use this word when you want to convey that you're thoroughly reviewing or evaluating something, like a building for any structural damage, an exam paper for any errors, or even a product for any defects. One special note about the usage of inspect is that it implies a more detailed and thorough examination than just simply looking at something, so it's not the same as saying you glanced at it or took a quick peek. If you're planning to buy an old house, it's essential to inspect the property thoroughly before making an offer. In this case, your real estate agent might say, the seller will let us inspect the attic and basement to ensure there are no hidden problems. Here, the word inspect is used in a formal conversation with a professional tone, indicating that a detailed examination of specific areas of the house will be performed to verify its condition. On the other hand, if you're chatting with a friend who just got back from a trip and they mention seeing some weird stains on their luggage, you might say, yeah, I should probably inspect my suitcase more closely when I get home. In this casual conversation, the word inspect is used in an informal tone to imply that the person will give their bag a quick look over to check if anything suspicious is inside. Finally, as a quality control manager at a manufacturing plant, you might say, we need to inspect each batch of goods before packaging them for shipment to ensure compliance with industry standards. Here, the word inspect is used in a business or academic tone to indicate that a systematic examination will be performed on every product to guarantee it meets established criteria. So you want to know about this concept? Let me explain. To examine something means to take a close look at it carefully and thoroughly, often to understand its details or figure out what's going on. It's like taking your time to really pay attention to something, like looking for clues in a mystery novel. You might use this word when you're checking over some information, reviewing a situation, or just trying to get a better sense of things. It's similar to investigate, which is more about finding out facts and solving problems. But examine is more general, it's just about taking the time to understand something better.